Tianhuo is the only character in the game with 3 special moves that have no varying degrees in strength at all. As a result, advanced combos involve flight cancelling her special moves at specific parts. Due to the fluid, free-flow structure of combos in Dam's fighting herds, it's easy for many players to find combo routes that look flashy but deal less damage in return. Many advanced Tianhuo players, though, have found a simple combo loop that not only lets them deal a decent amount of damage, but also make memorable routes for a variety of starters. For the sake of this video, we'll be referring to that loop as the Jumping C loop, and we'll be going over the core structure of the loop, as well as techniques that help make the combo easier to pull off. Before we begin, let's go over a quick refresher of the Juggle Decay system. This system is an infinite prevention system that puts a comboed character in a launch state the moment the Juggle Decay bar is full. While the Juggle Decay bar is full, additional hits used cause the comboed character to become heavier and heavier until they eventually just fall out of the combo. For a full in-depth guide to understand how Juggle Decay works, I recommend watching Koi's video on Juggle Decay because it shows how integral the system is in not just performing combos, but in creating set plays as well. In this video, we'll be maximizing our damage while the Juggle Decay bar is full. Tianhuo is one of the few characters in the game who can easily carry her opponents towards the corner while maximizing her damage, allowing her to not have to worry much about continuing her offense. Without further ado, let's go over how her Jumping C loop is performed. The sequence of the loop is fairly simple. While your opponent is airborne, hit them with a Jumping C, cancel the attack with an air dash, and then hit them again with a Jumping C. The hit stun caused by the Jumping C is so long that it's actually possible to land on the ground and jump towards them to do another sequence, hence the Jumping C loop. New players usually tend to struggle with 2 things: landing the loop after launching their opponents into the air, and extending the loop before the Juggle Decay bar is full. There are 3 things Tianhuo can do to alleviate these issues: flight cancel her special moves to launch them and keep them airborne, microfly to adjust her height, and add additional attacks before doing another Jumping C loop. And now that we've introduced these concepts, let's go over them in detail to show how they can help extend her loop. To get your opponents airborne, you'll have to launch them into the air. The worst way you can do this is with the universal launcher because it puts them way too high in the air to properly do the loops. What you'll want to do instead is flight cancel the first hit of either Volcanic Ash or Volcanic Bash. For a quick refresher, normal moves can be flight cancelled by pressing the D button regardless if on hit or on block, giving you ways to maintain your pressure. Specials, on the other hand, can only be flight cancelled on hit. This is a very significant detail when pulling off Tian's combos. The first hit of these special moves launch opponents into the air. If you perform the moves in their entirety, you'll not only have difficulty doing the Jumping C loop out of them, but you'll also have unoptimized routes as a result. Cancelling the first hit of these specials not only launches opponents into the air, but also puts you high enough to start doing the loops. The starter combo you want to do to begin the loops is dependent on your magic stocks. If you have no magic stocks when comboing, use Bash to launch them into the air. If you do have magic stocks, use Ash to launch them instead because it applies less Juggle Decay than Bash, allowing you to do more damage on your combos as a result. Both are necessary starters to help you get into the Jumping C loops regardless of magic. Cancelling the first hit of Ash is tricky at first, but when you get used to it, it's very easy to confirm into the loops. Bash, on the other hand, is easy to cancel, but it's tricky in the beginning to confirm into a loop. This is where microflying comes in to make your combos easier. Before we go over microflying, let's go over the basic mechanics of flying. Flying allows Tian to travel at different parts of the screen without consuming magic. When used though, Tian can't gain magic while flying, so you'll have to be careful when flight cancelling and combos, especially since you also can't gain magic while air dashing. Another important detail is that Tianhuo will begin to fall the moment she performs an attack. This is important because by combining the basic principles of flight, it is actually possible to move and attack the moment you cancel into flight. This is what we call microflying, and is one of the best ways to consistently land the Jumping C loops. If you want to microfly, simply tap where you want to go and add an attack as you tap. Once you get the hang of microflying, you can then adjust Tianhuo's height to begin dropping the loop or hitting them once with the jumping C to land early and start the loop there. There are 3 directions you'd want to move depending on what you want done. These are flying up if you want to do the loop immediately after a bash, flying forward if you want to hit them with a jumping C once while maintaining their height so that you can add an additional jumping A or jumping B before doing the loop, or flying down forward if you want to hit them with a jumping C once while decreasing their height to do the loop straight away. Now that we know how to start doing the loops, we now have to find a way to continue the loops and optimize them. To continue doing these loops, we will have to combine the first and third points I brought up earlier. The loops can't be done repeatedly unless the opponent is relaunched. The simplest way to relaunch them is by hitting them with Ash and then flight cancelling the first hit to do the loop. An alternative is to do a jumping bash to them. While it's easier, it's not recommended to do in the long run since it deals less damage while adding more Juggle Decay. And now that we've gone over extending loops, we'll go over maximizing damage. The loops can only be done a few times before the Juggle Decay bar is full, so you'll want to fill in the gaps with attacks that add more damage while allowing you to repeat the loop. The jumping A and B attacks help in maintaining the opponent's height for the loop, but add a lot of Juggle Decay. Standing normal attacks deal the same amount of damage compared to their jumping counterparts, but for less Juggle Decay. Since they add less Juggle Decay, they provide a lot of room to add more normals and special attacks before continuing the loop, dealing more damage as a result. With this knowledge in hand, you can then make live adjustments for your combos based on the starters used and your execution level. The better your execution, the more damage you end up dealing consistently. Keep in mind that the loops are best done before you max out your opponent's Juggle Decay bar. When it's maxed out or close to being maxed out, you'll want to rely on simple ender combos you can pull off consistently while the bar is maxed out, since additional hits make your opponent heavier and heavier. Any ender will do as long as it's consistent, but these are enders that I like to do depending if I'm in the corner or in mid-screen. Once you have an ender, you'll now be able to do full combos with the jumping C loops. In the end, the jumping C loops are great for making combo routes as they allow you to easily remember them while dealing decent damage with them and carrying your opponent to the corner. On top of that, simple trial and error with the loops allow you to make live adjustments based on how you convert your combo. Hopefully after watching this guide, you'll have an understanding of how the loops work and how to apply them in your combo strings. If you're wondering why I didn't provide full combos, it's because TFH's combo structure is designed in a way that players can make their own combos. As such, the purpose of this guide is to allow you to make your own routes involving the loops. With enough practice, you'll eventually find ways to use these combos based on your playstyle. So go ahead and start practicing the loops. It takes time after all before the execution becomes second nature. And with that, I bid you all a good day.